Alright. Let's go talk with the Thunderfang people. Let them know that their buddies are free. Oh, they're just straight up still being like a shop to sell things to and from. I hope there's another way to get reputation besides selling shit for reputation. Because I don't like systems like that where it's like, oh, you can either sell it for money or you can sell it for reputation. Like, no. The fuck? Giving them freebies just to like have them give me permission to buy their shit? What the fuck? That would be stupid. Lord Captain, sorry to disturb you. Vigdis pauses as if listening to something. It's pandemonium outside the bridge gate. One of the officers seems to be demanding an audience with you in person. I think I hear Master Wasarian's voice. In any case, I wanted to warn you in advance. Oh shit, what? I just tried to get us to a new mission. Get us a navigator to get us out of here. Perception reduces the chances of an enemy dodging an attack. It also affects the awareness skill. Huh. So I should level up perception as well. So many compounding statistics. Oh, I love that. That's a dramatic turn. The everyday sounds of the bridge are disrupted by voices raised in anger. Abelard's voice, the loudest of all. This is not the conduct of an officer. These are the antics of a highborn brat out on a lock. Explain yourself, Lieutenant. What, does she want to be my fifth party member or something? No, she doesn't even get a voice. Avril event. The young woman standing before Abelard strives with all of her might not to quail under the onslaught of her superior's anger. She falters, but then manages to look him in the eye and say, I apologize, sir, but I must speak to the Lord Captain. Very well, Lieutenant. You may address the Lord Captain, not least because I see you have already seen fit to disturb her. Your unauthorized appearance on the bridge and display of belligerence toward a higher-ranking officer will be logged on your personal file without delay. Lord Captain, Lieutenant Avrilla Vent, requesting permission to speak. Vent falls silent, and then adds rashly, on a matter of extreme importance and urgency. You may speak, but I want to hear a report, not a shouting match. Having two officers bicking in full view of the bridge is unacceptable. I am sorry, Lord Captain. I thought that drastic times called for drastic measures. Vent exclaims hotly. This matter cannot wait. Any minute now, an assault unit will be dispatched to the lower decks on orders to crush the workers' strike by any means necessary. But I am convinced that this step is unwarranted and that the crisis itself was provoked by the actions of one of the senior officers. Vent is almost trembling with tension as she delivers her speech, her face extremely pale. Abelard, in no hurry to intervene, lets out a skeptical huff. Lord Captain, I urge you to investigate the actions of Seneschal Wasarian and to intervene in what's happening on the lower decks, because very soon we'll have a mutiny or a massacre on our hands. Vent reels off the last words as though she knows them by heart. She's clearly been preparing to say them for some time. When she is finished, she casts an anxious glance at Abelard, then you. How did all this start? The situation could boil over at any minute, so I'll give you the condensed version. It all began when the enforcers found a cultist amulet on the body of someone who'd been killed in a drunken brawl. We reported it up the chain immediately, arranged for a cleansing rite to be performed, and opened an investigation. No heretics have been found alive, but the search has brought tensions between officers and the workers to a head. I see. And where does Seneschal Warrison come to all this? I shall explain, Abelard intones grimly. I beg you to hurry. Time is running out. I will not hurry. Since my competence is under scrutiny, I shall speak for as long as I see fit. Yeah, fucking clearly, look how much text there is. There is an established order to the way things are done on this ship, and one of the pillars on that system is that the rogue trader's attention is not distracted by trivial matters. It is the Seneschal's role to ensure that. I have always handled internal problems myself. So, of course, when I received information about cultists hiding on the lower decks, I took the matter in hand. So long as I live, not one of the vermin who murdered Theodora von Valancius will find refuge on her ship. You were far too heavy-handed, Seneschal Warrison. Oh wait, he's Warrison. Got you. I didn't really put that together. He's just been Abelard to me. I thought Abelard was his last name, honestly. Yeah. Alright. Arrests, interrogations, mass punishments for entire sectors? It has driven the people to the brink, Vent says bitterly. Now there's a strike on the lower decks, in Depot 4 to be precise. 3 worker clans are involved, but many more are passively supporting them. The situation could degenerate into an all-out insurrection, but when I reported my concerns, the only response I received was an order to dispatch an assault unit and crush the strike with maximum force. Abelard, what do you have to say about all this?
I see no need to add anything. I acted within the remit of my authority, guided exclusively by the best interests of your protectorate and your personal safety. If you wish to confirm the rectitude of my actions for yourself, I have no objections.
For my part, I urge the Lord Captain to go down the lower decks, stop the assault unit, and speak directly to the people. You'll see that they are not lying or harboring heretics. That way, you'll stop the uprising before it begins. I am certain the Seneschal was acting within his authority, but I will verify the soundness of his decisions myself. Throne preserve you, Lord Captain. I thank you for your support.
Abelard grits his teeth slightly. An enterprise bordering on the sophomoric, but please yourself, Lord Captain. However, I categorically insist that I escort you.
That's fine, come with me. Oh shit, I gotta pick all my party members. Okay, yeah, the whole gang gets to come along and see what the fuck you did wrong. Yeah, I don't doubt that maybe he's overstepped his, not his authority, but just like the line of being nice. Wow, nobles from the upper day. Fuck him, I guess. We don't get to read what he says.
Hey, it's Wersarian. Take that, scum!
Oh my god, they threw like poison at him.
Look who it is. This is all his fault. All of it.
Damn. Abelard reflexively wipes the sweat from his brow in a startlingly human gesture. And a telling one, a rare moment where he allows his age and weariness to show through his armor-like veneer of self-assurance.
The lower decks are a source of endless problems. Sometimes I dearly regret that we cannot replace all the locals with servitors.
Let's keep moving. We need to get to the bottom of this.
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust.
Something resembling a nest made out of thermal insulation material. This must be where the workers sleep between shifts. Hey, we've got a valve here. I'm gonna spin the valve.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
Or not. Not an option. Not yet.
I still do not see our purpose in coming here.
Well, Abelard, we're putting down a mutiny before it starts.
Keep your wits about you.
Relax, old man. Going for a stroll on the lower decks every once in a while is good for you. Let's you see how the simple folk live. Yeah, I agree, Adira.
Is there money to be made?
You need to meet up with the people on your ship. We mustn't separate ourselves too much. The sounds of a heated discussion reverberate through the ship's bays. Lieutenant Avrilla Vent of the ship's enforcers is barring the path of a heavily built assault unit officer, and judging by their expressions and tone, the standoff has dragged on for some time already and has now reached a boiling point.
I have my orders to put an end to the unrest and purge this sector.
You can take your orders and shove them. This is my deck and my sector. There are only 3 people who can waltz in here without my express permission. The first officer, the rogue trader, and the Emperor himself.
So not all my lessons fall on deaf ears.
Abelard mutters in crappy approval. He does not clarify whether he means Lieutenant Vent, the officer looming over her, or both. Your ladyship! Noticing you, the 2 junior officers snap to attention and salute their subordinates following suit a moment later. What's the situation? Your ladyship, my people have locked down the bay where the strikers are, including their leaders. We have the situation under control as far as resources allowed.
I see.
Well, we encountered some locals on our way here. Their conduct was outrageous. They even tried to throw things at us. Vent pale slightly. The people are getting desperate, clearly. They saw the assault unit and they decided they had nothing left to lose. I mean, I apologize, Lord Captain. It is outrageous. I'm sure the people simply didn't recognize you. It wouldn't have occurred otherwise. We will deal with them once the current situation is resolved.
Well, I want to speak to the strikers.
Abelard's mouth twists, but he restrains himself and says nothing. Right you are, Lord Captain. Allow me to wish you good luck. Hope gleams in Lieutenant Vent's eyes.
I think we're about to have to put down a mutiny.
Our children are freezing. We've done nothing wrong and we're being punished.
The enforcers have tormented us enough.
Greetings, your graces. A dozen pairs of eyes stare apprehensively at you. The people before you are typical inhabitants of the lower decks. You take in their simple clothing, crude weapons, and faces that display varying levels of mutation, from the barely discernible to the strange to the outright grotesque. You must be the leader of the strike. A whisper passes through the crowd, and you detect a mixture of fear, astonishment, and a joy in their reactions. Finally, 3 people break away from the crowd, an elderly woman and 2 men. These must be the leaders. They bow clumsily before you.
The Lord Captain, you have come down to us.
Tell me what is troubling you. Why are you striking?
Striking? That's news to us, your ladyship, says a tall, thin man in worker's garb. All we're doing is asking questions, saying what we think.
Shut up, Rivet, snaps the old woman, who turns her hostile dark eyes on you. Here's the deal, your ladyship. Your damned enforcers are all over us down here. They say we're looking for cultists, or they say they're looking for cultists. One wrong word and they're reaching for their batons. If they want to punish someone, they turn off the heating to a whole base for a week at a time, so we get sick and freeze. In my clan, 2 little ones died from inflammation in their lungs, all because of those enforcers. The old woman spits on the floor and rubs at the spittle with the toe of her worn-out shoe. Argenta does not interrupt the workers, but you see the sadness well in her eyes when the children's deaths are mentioned. She quietly whispers a requiem prayer and makes a sign over herself. It's all true. Vent is the only enforcer officer who stood up for us. It's clear as day who's had a mother from the lower decks and who grew up hard amidships and has no fellow feeling toward us. The grim man with a scarred face throws up his arms. Your ladyship, we're no villains here. We're honest workers, your servants. We've plotted no disorder. We went on strike openly, and now we've got guns pointed at us. All we're doing is asking to be allowed to work in peace without being harassed. Abelard, do you have anything to add?
I authorize the use of all necessary measures to locate Chaos worshippers hiding in this sector. The specific steps taken by the officers were not reported to me.
Abelard frowns, clearly disgruntled at having to explain himself in the workers' presence.
Nevertheless, I am certain that their actions were justified. Cultists are no drunken stevedores. They are the enemy and a threat to the ship. Neutralizing them demands decisive actions.
Right. Well, we were attacked on the way here. How do you explain that?
Here's an explanation for you. The people have been pushed to their limit, and now they're lashing out. As if we don't know why these top deck units are being sent down here, like that one there that the lieutenant won't let past.
Our clans are all inside the bay that's been sealed off, but the lower decks are big. I'm sure there are some people who've just had about enough. We're getting it from all sides. The soldiers have encircled the ones who've risen up. A death squad has just arrived. It's no wonder folks are lashing out. Awareness test succeeded. Their words seem sincere to you. Their body language and the glances traded between them reveal that the news of the attack has shocked them. Okay, alright, it wasn't planned out. The persecution started apropos of nothing, you say. I was told that one of you was found in possession of a cultist amulet, and that there are heretics hiding here. A cultist amulet? What's that? The goo-gaw they found on the dead drunkard? If it was something evil or forbidden, we sure didn't know. The enforcers just said they were looking for heretics among us, and anyone obstructing their investigation would be punished. But how could there be heretics here? We know our own people. There have been no new faces around. Definitely not. And if there were, we'd be the first to report them. As for this amulet, or whatever it is, they took it off a dead body. There are no cultists still breathing in our sector, that's for sure. But when that fight broke out, some enterprising folks looted the bodies. The boots they came back with. Nobody's ever tread these decks in boots so fine.
I can tell you that. Seems to me these cultists have better commanders than us.
Oh yeah, those boots really were fine, and there was no harm in taking them, right? As for the amulet, it must have been pocketed by someone who didn't know any better. We don't need any amulets around here. We all worship the Emperor, and when we're working, we bow down before the machine spirits of the large and small transformers in the servo motor, the same way my grandfather was taught 100 years ago by a tech priest who came calling. Believe us, your ladyship, we're people of faith.
Naive children, weren't you taught from an early age about the dangers of the arch-enemy's creations? Weren't you warned that any unfamiliar object could be one of them? We were told, Holy Sister, but it was long ago. The last time we saw a confessor in our sector, it was just after I'd had my third little one.
That is regrettable, but you cannot lay the burden of leading a righteous life on the shoulders of the Holy Fathers. Who will you blame when beasts crawl out of those amulets you stole from the heretics? The Holy Father who was not there, or the scavenger who brought evil down on himself and his neighbors?
Well, that didn't give us any new conversation options, but what changes do you all want? Would you look at this? The exalted Lord Captain herself is asking us bilge rats what we want. Well, here's what we want. We want you to rein in your damned enforcers, to quit turning off the heat, and to stop battering everything that moves. No, that's not it. We want the enforcers gone from here, and we want to be armed. Give us arms and we'll govern ourselves. We'll defend ourselves if these cultists do show their faces. I've been leader of my clan for 20 years now. Getting rid of these club-weeding thugs can only improve things around here.
You've gone too far, old Nan. They'll never let the maggots on the lower decks live without the enforcers breathing down their necks. They probably even insist on enforcers on the upper decks too. As for weapons, what do we need them for? Before the first day's out, we'll have someone shooting their neighbor out of stupidity or drunkenness. We don't need that. If the enforcers stop hassling us, that'll be enough. In return, we'll find the scavengers who robbed the cultist bodies, and we'll talk to them, one lower decker to another. If there are any more of those damned amulets about, we'll hand them over to the enforcers ourselves. I like that guy's plan.
You speak for yourself and your clan, and I'll speak for me and mine. I don't want empty gestures. I want real change. They'll promise us the world now, but as soon as the Anointed One turns her back, these brutes will be on us even harder than before, all because we dared to speak out.
The tall worker's eyes dart between the two arguing leader. Every few seconds, he opens his mouth as if he's planning to agree, but each time he falls silent, simply making a few vague noises of approval.
Spreading anarchy. We've got a coercion thing I'm going for, and we've got a 95% chance. I don't know if that's a 95% chance to succeed or a 95% chance to fail. I'm gonna put hope on the first. Spreading anarchy on the ship is the first step toward embracing chaos. Putting weapons into untrained hands would be even worse. What's more, the enforcers are needed to maintain oversight and order. Withdraw those demands and we'll consider the rest. The tall worker they call Rivet shrugs and casts a sidelong look at the old woman. Old Nan, listen. Listen! The Lord Captain herself has come down to us and is offering concessions. And I don't know a single person in the whole Depot 4 who's ever stood next to the rogue trader, let alone talk to them. Back down. Now's no time for you to be a stubborn old crone. Listen to us, old Nan. The three clans of Depot 4 ought to act as one. We've made up our minds. It's your turn to decide. Don't ask them to disband the enforcers or give us weapons. We don't need any of that. The old woman hisses in dissatisfaction. You two are ganging up on me, is that it? So brave you are against an old woman. But I'll shut up. I will, indeed. I won't go against two clan leaders on my own. If you want to make peace with the enforcers, make your peace. That's great. Just fantastic. Lord Captain, we're all agreed. Good. What are your thoughts, Abelard? The story about going scavenging for boots and accidentally picking up a heretical amulet doesn't convince me. These people were moments away from rebelling and possibly becoming minions of the arch-enemy. We must not give them what they want. Even if they did not acquire something innocently, purely out of their own stupidity, that does not mean they are not tainted with corruption. What begins as petty thievery can turn into a far graver problem. I have seen it before. Abelard's face darkens momentarily. In my second war, there was a sergeant in the Imperial Guard regiment that was stationed nearby. The sergeant took an ordinary pocket knife from the body of a heretic, and his whole unit lost their lives for it. When they finally managed to break into the barracks, they found not a single survivor, only the pocket knife,
which are grown through all the rows of beds like a metal choking vine. So when it comes to scavengers, malcontents, strikers, or whatever they'll turn into next, my verdict is simple. Give them no quarter.
Right. Well, I'm not an asshole. I know that in the Warhammer 40k universe, bad shit happens all the time, so it might very well be an actual good idea to just kill these people. But I'm gonna err on the side of not doing that. Then it's decided. The persecution will stop, and I'll expect you to assist in locating any remaining amulets or weapons left by the cultists.
Your ladyship, thank you. You've not abandoned us lower deckers. You came yourself and settled everything.
I'll tell my grandchildren about this.
Of course, your ladyship. We'll root out any nasty business faster than the enforcers, and we'll leave no stone unturned.
Lovely. We get to walk away with no big fight.
I always keep my options open.
Where's Zavrilla? Can I talk to her, or is she's just fucking off?
Yeah, okay.
We'll get out of here now. Look at all these valves. I wonder if, like, if we had started a fight, these would have been here to, like,
I always have a backup
allow us to fight. Stopping unexpectedly, Abelard imperiously dismisses the unit to stand at a distance and addresses your other companions, saying,
I have an urgent matter to discuss with the Lord Captain. Please give us a moment.
What's up, buddy? Are you gonna scold me? Abelard looks at you, and his last vestiges of restraint vanish.
Well, are you pleased with your investigation, Lord Captain?
Yeah.
You kowtowed me to the disloyal rabble. You believed their lies and showed them leniency. Next time the ship is attacked by cultists, that rabble will welcome them in with open arms and allow them to wreak whatever havoc they like because they see you as a weak leader. Is that how you see your future at the helm of the Von Valancius Protectorate? Let's talk about your role in all this instead. You allowed this revolt to happen. Your actions practically guaranteed it would. I would have handled the situation myself had you not decided to intervene, Abelard says irascibly. Remember, Lord Captain Theodora, do you think she ever set one slippered foot on the lower decks? No, she did not. Such matters were left to myself and the junior officers while she dedicated herself to her grand designs for the Protectorate, as any true strategist and rogue trader ought. Well,
maybe if Theodora had spent more time on trifling matters, she wouldn't have wound up dead. There is a new Lord Captain aboard this ship now, and I will not repeat her mistakes.
I really want to say that.
Abelard looks at you, stunned, and exhales loudly. Then he nods curtly.
I commend your decisiveness, but I am uncomfortable with introducing new protocols in the midst of a crisis. And
Abelard stands straight at attention.
I lost my temper, Lord Captain, and I believe I ought to explain myself.
Abelard speaks slowly, the words not coming easily to him.
The prosperity of the Von Valancius Protectorate is not just an empty phrase to me. I left the Imperial Navy for the chance to see it flourish. It was the most momentous decision of my life. I did it because I saw in Lord Captain Theodora's deeds the signs of true greatness. Rogue traders do not simply forge new routes and capture worlds. They create order out of anarchy. That creative impulse was entirely lacking during my time in the military. So I left everything behind that I had known, everything my family had known. I come from a long line of officers, and I embarked upon this incredibly reckless venture. Lord Captain Theodora entrusted me with all the concerns she had no time for. She would go off on her flagship for long periods, to distant frontiers on scouting voyages, and the advancement of the entire Protectorate rested on my shoulders. And then suddenly, everything that had been built up over years and years began to quake, rattling like a flimsy hangar on a seismically active world. One of the senior officers betrayed us all. The rogue trader was killed, and who knows what is happening on the planets. I tell you this honestly, without fear of appearing weak. All this has come as a grievous blow to me. I am not panicking or grieving because I cannot allow myself to panic or grieve. I am duty-bound to aid the new rogue trader, to aid you, to find your footing as quickly as possible, And to do that, I must insulate you from the problems that in the past have been dealt with by tried and tested procedures set out in the ship's regulations. Procedures that were established long ago and have functioned smoothly for decades cannot suddenly be deemed excess to requirements.
I understand, but you need to learn how to respect me as your Lord Captain and Rogue Trader. Accept it and start living in the new world. A world where Theodore is gone, and where you and I have new decisions to make.
Abelard solemnly inclines his head. Yes, Lord Captain. After a moment's silence, he adds, looking at you with interest. Your resolve is admirable and demonstrates strong leadership. I shall remember this moment, should my old habits ever begin to creep back in. And now, please, let us leave the lower decks. If the Rogue Trader desires to stretch her legs, there are far more suitable places. All right, I think I handled that fairly well.
I have a nose for profit.
Let's get out of here.
And a taste for adventure.
If you don't like your character's build, you can always drop your character's current progression. All experience is refunded, and you may even select a different archetype.
I can just completely change absolutely everything, maybe. Uh-oh. Unrest on Fuel Deck 3. Engage Protocol 89B. Send in forces immediately.
Okay, I thought that was like maybe something related to me. Hey, did you hear it? They saw it again. It was on the metal decks this time, or middle decks this time.
What are you talking about? Don't tell me you believe these daft rumors about the Rogue Trader's ghost.
What is going on? It sounds like we're under a fucking attack. Maybe I don't, but the rumors are coming from somewhere, so somebody must have seen something, or just wants others to believe they did.
What are you two talking about? Ah, damn. All right. Abelard.
Lord Captain. Lord Captain.
Lord Captain. Lord Captain. Well, I guess we keep it moving.
I wonder what these are. Are those other ships or something? No, that's just, okay, that's just indicators of where my ship is. So, like, bloop, bloop. Lord Captain, reporting. The heralds of the Navis Nobilite continue to maintain Vox silence, perhaps due to York 5 being off limits to visitors. We intercepted signals from the beacons drifting in the station's orbit. The demands are clear. We are told to turn the ship around immediately. Really? We have also detected an accumulation of space debris near the station's docks. Presumably, it is the remains of interplanetary shuttles. Perhaps the esteemed Navis Nobilite house requires aid, and therefore cannot respond to our Vox transmission. Scan the station. Yes, Lord Captain. The Vox remains silent for a while, but then you hear static in Vigdis's measured voice. The officers from the Augur crew performed a full scan of the station, but the information is imprecise. They note wave distortions of unclear genesis that are throwing off most of the readings. We were able to ascertain that the reactor core of the station is still active, but many compartments are unpowered, and some fully depressurized. The signs of biological activity are largely present in the central module, which means the station has not been abandoned. So the question remains, why are the esteemed navigator's heralds ignoring us? Contact the station again. I will negotiate personally. The Vox relays the cadent sound of grinding gears and clicking tumblers. I am sorry, Lord Captain. The station does not reply even after an official greeting by a rogue trader and the declaration of your intent to negotiate in person. Fine. We will not invade a Navis Nobilite station without first acquiring official approval. Lord Captain, only the navigators are blessed with the gift of steering ships through the Imperium. Anyone else would succumb to the same nightmarish influence it projects on the crew and the vessel. To attempt traversing warp space without a guide is a fool's errand.
Forgive me for intruding, Lord Captain, but I feel it is my duty to remind you that the Navis Nobilite are highly respected citizens of the Imperium. Humanity's guides through the warp. The power and status of a highborn navigator house is akin to that of your protectorate. To aid them in their hour of need is to acquire an influential ally. Alright, fine. Then we're docking.
Affirmative, Lord Captain. We do not know what is happening at the station, so we'll have to look for these steam navigators blind. Dock safely, and may the God Emperor light your path. Alright. Scan required. Beginning scan. What is happening upon this station?
Everything seems to be going wrong out here on the frontiers. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh shit! That looks like corruption! Corruption within the walls itself!
Pathetic worm. You dare to argue with your master?
It was not you whom I swore to serve within these walls. My lips are sealed.
Confess. What was the old man's last command? What are you planning?
Give up, Keeper. You have lost this battle. Again.
We're getting nowhere with these ones, sir. Permission to execute them.
Uh-oh. I think I'm supposed to be watching my people walk in. Instead, I'm staring at a wall. I can't move from here, so... I'm gonna just go ahead and skip. There we go. Alright. A tall man stops you with a gesture when you approach. Blood is trickling down the pearly scales of his weary face. And not just his own blood. Two jet-black, unblinking eyes are watching every move, and the third one, the mark of a navigator's fate, is menacingly pulsating behind the lowered lid in the middle of his forehead.
Step back, or I will unleash all the horrors of the Sea of Souls upon you. Emperor, be my witness.
The hell's that? Alternate dimension of pure energy and madness existing as a mirror to real space, also known as the Immaterium, the Empyrean, the Aether, the Sea of Souls, or warp space. I see.
Desist, brother. It was the Emperor's will that brought me to this abode.
The navigator frowns.
No one has the right to interpret his will so freely, sister. But wait, I recognize your coat of arms. You must be a lady of the von Valancius dynasty. Yes, I'm absolutely positive, in fact. And since fate has brought such an important person into my abode, allow me to introduce myself. Before you stands Felix Christoph August, keeper of this station. So you did not come to offer support to the traitors? This is great news. Having said that, you must understand that Uric 5 is a holy sanctum for House Orcelio, and the path to it is only revealed to a select few. It pains me to say you are not on the guest list.
The navigator looks at his guards and winces. The soldiers are quivering as if their tormented flesh were being flayed, yet they keep clutching their weapons. I am looking for the Lord Inquisitor's interrogator. Oh no, I don't need to give him that. Provide me with a navigator and I will immediately depart the station.
I do not think this is possible. Uric 5 is an observation station. We do not sign contracts and do not provide navigators. We delve into the depths of infinity and chart the movements of the warp storms. And besides, Felix gestures at the disorder around him, you've chosen an inopportune time for negotiations.
Right, well, why would a keeper of the station command vile mutants condemned by the Emperor?
The blame lies with Theobald Orcelio, the second keeper of Uric 5. The old man was a great navigator, but he could no longer control his powers. I begged him to retire, but he was too obsessed with our mistress, Lady Cassia. His madness and stubbornness spelled doom for the entire station, for he opened his third eye in a fit of rage and unleashed the horrors of the warp on those who displeased him. The Theobald I knew would never have used his powers in such a reckless manner. This would be difficult to explain to the uninitiated, but I'm going to try. The warp currents in the system have been tumultuous for dozens of cycles, and have worn the veil between our world and the Imperium thin and frail, at least here on the station. The ruinous powers are trying to tear it down completely and corrupt all living things. The servants were the first to fall victim to it. Oh, their bodies morphed, and pain and despair drove their poor souls mad. The lunatics took my mistress prisoner and almost destroyed the station, but I rallied the few who still followed the light of the Golden Throne to set things right.
The Lord Navigator here is speaking the unvarnished truth. I bet this station is full of voices and whispers, all trying to break through from the other side, waiting for you to reach out and swing the door open wide.
Yeah, it sounds pretty bad. It sounds like I might have to kill all the people on the station.
I sincerely hope the influence of the Immaterium has not yet affected your body and your soul. With all due respect, I advise you not to remain at the station. Return to your void ship. I need to save Lady Cassia. If you are not willing to help, or indeed risk your life, you must leave now. What kind of help are you talking about? I would never ask you for such a favor under different circumstances, and yet... Felix takes his hand away from his ribcage, notices blood, and winces in pain. And yet Lady Cassia's well-being is above all. I haven't got many people left. My wounds are too deep for me to act with precision and swiftness. But you may actually succeed. In order to ascend to the Mistress's chamber, you will need to remake a holy relic sanctioned or sanctified with the blood of a Lady Auxilia herself. This is the control rod of the elevator machine spirit. I have one part, and the other was lost during the mutiny. But even this relic will be of no use unless the elevator mechanism is powered. Okay. How do I, power up the elevator? The station's main cogitator is situated in the guard room. Just enter the correct command sequence, and the sacred mechanism will do the rest. Well, then how do I remake the control rod? I have a phylactery containing the Mistress's blood. Creepy. It needs to be taken to the laboratory, which is located behind one of the reliquary doors. The most ancient of sacred mechanisms will help to rebuild the rod. The tech priest ceaselessly performed the rites of appeasement so that the machine spirit would serve the house in its time of need. The fateful hour is now upon us. If it's so simple, why don't you do it yourself? I never said the feat would be easy to accomplish. The path to the laboratory and the guard room is blocked by the very same madmen who took over the station. They will not negotiate and are not afraid of displeasing the Navis Nobilite or incurring the Emperor's wrath. They bow only to brute strength, something which I currently happen to lack. Alright, and why should I help you? You came to this station for a reason. House Auxilia will not be able to help you until the current crisis is resolved. But if you aid us now, I promise we will reach an agreement that you will find satisfying, be it riches, influence, or the powers of our navigators. Alright, yeah, that works for me. So what have you decided, descendant of the Von Valancius line? I will rescue your mistress, but in return, I require that House Auxilio sign a contract with my protectorate. Felix's reply sounds curt and tired. So be it. Hurry. The mistress' safety is all that matters. But should you fail, our arrangement is finished. Thanks for the phylactery of blood. Explore the station to find answers. Restart the elevator. What's going on with this guy?
Mission runs true.
Keep your wits about you.
The corpses were mauled by a force far beyond any mortal capacity. The faces are twisted in pain, and the hands are fused with improvised weapons. Tools, scissors, and cutlery.
Always
That sounds pretty
keep
off.
your eye on the prize.
I guess I need to jump over this. Knocked over
Is there money
bookshelf.
to be made?
White, bright, pure color. And it's all riddled with horrible veins that carry the poison of fear and pain throughout its body. Who are you? Why are you crying? If the witch is talking about the enemies of humanity who set upon the abode of noble navigators,
Rise
then
to
our
the
weapons
top
will soon
or get
dispel
left
their
in the
wicked
dust.
misery. Yeah, I bet she's hearing some things. Hold on. keep leveling ourselves up here. Precise attack. Next attack gets a target affected by an exploit. That target's cover efficiency will be reduced by 5 plus perception bonus times stacks of exploit. This attack will have 5 plus perception bonus times stacks exploit hit chance. Alright, my perception bonus is currently, we'll say 3. So that is 5 plus 3 times whatever exploit things would do. Which, at the start of the fight, we at least put 1 on all the enemies. So that's not too bad. Joint analysis. Until the operative's next turn, their allies' attacks also remove exploits and deal int bonus more damage. I don't know. While in cover, the operative gains a plus 25% cover efficiency, plus 15 perception, and plus 15 ballistic skill. This effect lasts until the operative moves, does not stack. That's not too bad. Tactical knowledge. The operative removes 1 exploit from each enemy in a 5-cell radius around a point within 10 cells from the operative. If there's only 1 enemy in the area, the operative removes all exploit stacks from that enemy. All allies gain plus 2 times number of removed exploits % armor until the end of combat. If 4 or more exploits are removed, the operative gains plus number of removed exploits damage until the end of combat. Damn! That one has some crazy potential because it seems like they do like to spam a lot of like lower health enemies. So I could like start off the fight and just immediately gain like 5 plus damage. But I'm gonna go for perfect spot. I'm gonna go for perfect spot. Because we're doing sniping stuff, sort of. Skill. What do I want to do? I could do persuasion, I could do tech use. Going for persuasion. And then weapon skill, because that skill's super low for him. Chain weapons gain a plus 4 maximum damage. He currently uses a chain sword. That might not always be the case. What is melee superiority bonuses? In melee combat, any targets are surrounded by more allies than enemies receives a plus 10 weapon skill bonus for each additional ally. Oh, I see. That actually might not be too bad then. Did that say minimum damage? Ooh, that's not too bad. I'm worried if I go into chain weapon expert that he won't be using chain weapons in the future. Like maybe we find a really good axe or something. So I think for now I'll just do movement points. Because I'd like him to be able to close the distance on more enemies more reliably. Whoa, look at all these things. Is this like a power? Creates an area that lasts until the start of the Psyker's next turn. All allies within an area gain 4 plus 2 times Psyker's psi rating % dodge. So they would get a 6% dodge chance increase. That's not awful. Prescience. The target gains plus 4 plus 2 times psi rating, intelligence, perception, fellowship, and willpower until the end of combat. Ooh, I love that, dude. I love all these things that are like, and then they last into the end of combat. Biomancers can heal wounds and alter physical characteristics. What do you mean by that? What is that sounds pretty dramatic. So these sound like they're opening up entire different trees. Like you got fire, pyromancy, sanctic powers, concentration of faith. Sanctic powers are used by pious psychers to protect allies and smite heretics. I'll do prescience for now. Just something to slap on in the middle of combat. I don't know what's a good stat for her. I mean, I guess I'll give her some logic because she's really low on that. Or I can give her more like awareness. I guess she can have some logic. What? This is locked. Horse shit. Are we at the maximum amount I can boost that? Or something? That's what it feels like. I guess I'll just give her more agility. And then she can also go for swift movement. All right.
I always have a backup plan.
Get over the bookshelf.
Experience? Nothing matters more.
Whoops. I dropped my phone. I'll be damned. Somebody gave the veil between the worlds a good thrashing. And not too long ago at that. I think our guests from the other side are seeking to break through our world. Well, we're gonna have to stop that. Greetings, servant. Mumbles incoherently.
Keep your wits about
That's fair enough. Just keep it up, I suppose. Oh, jeez.
I'll learn from this mistake.
All of the servants perished in the crossfire. Does anybody need... Into a sword and this pistol. Argenta could probably use this reinforced flak vest. Yeah, just straight up armor upgrade. Here, have this force grenade. Improved armored body glove. Okay, alright, that's a little bit more armor. That's solid. I will put that on Jade. It's important that the Lord Captain von Valancius is as protected as possible.
Would you look at that?
Ripper auto pistol. Solid projectile weapons have increased over penetration.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
Meteorite chunk. Mutated flesh sample. Jesus. What are all these things I'm gathering? I'm concerned. Uh-oh. Rah! Protect the child! Ooh,
Oh shit!
I'll make an example out of you.
Purge them!
Oh shit! Well, where do I want to do things? I'll put Argenta. Ah, fuck. Damn it. I'll keep Abelard here. I'll move Argenta a little bit more to. Damn it. Everywhere I want to move Argenta is scuffed. I'd like to put her like over here or over here, and it's just not an option. Alright, good enough, I guess. As long as they don't throw a fire grenade. Oh, shit. Ow!
Run!
What a little bastard. Alright. Fuck, I hate that. If I hit this guy, he dies. And it would also probably kill the mutant trader too, but it would hurt my allies, which I really don't want. I'm gonna give
But of course.
some buffs.
Will do.
And
No can do.
I'll move up here.
Cover me.
Put consign on the mutant commander. Oh, and he can also have a
Anything else?
exploit stack put on him. All right. Oh yeah, that sounds pretty good. Yeah. Abelard is next, so I don't have to worry about him too much. Fuck. I didn't expect this. That's on me. I did know the turn order. Fuck. What are my chances of burst firing on this guy? 42%. That's real low. I really hope I can increase that.
As the Emperor commands, I act.
But I'm going for it. Oh, hell yeah. Oh my god. That 42% got... Sheesh. He got fucked up. Very nice.
I'll do it.
Oh, fuck, I'm surrounded. Oh, shit. All the fucking people who are just babbling to themselves are also bad guys. I just thought everybody over here was hostile. Shit.
So if I move, he smacks me, right? Like, pretty sure that's what... We're gonna find out. I'd like to get a cleave on him. Here's what I can do. I'm gonna mark this guy. Oh shit. Well, okay. I didn't actually, I guess, need to do that. I was worried that I was gonna move and get smacked, so I was trying to like exploit that, and it turns out I didn't really actually need to. We're gonna do endure, and then cleave this fucking guy.
Indeed. Reduced to dust.
Uh-oh. Did some damage to my, my cover here, but that's okay. Oh, that's a lot more enemies! Oh, shit! It's a good thing most of them are melee, I guess.
High momentum.
If I put another analyze weakness on
I'll
him...
see to it personally.
And then...
I'll make it happen.
do this.
I won't compromise my principles.
I can fuck him up. Alright. Woo! The commander's instantaneously dead. I guess I could have done a surefire plan. That would have done a little bit more of a guarantee, but I'll take it. Love the guaranteed crit hit. That is a lot of enemies right next to each other, so... I think it's lightning time. Look at all that! Holy shit!
On it.
Zap him!
Be gone.
Holy shit! Even got this guy over here. Nice. I can reapply dodge to anybody. So can I stack... forewarning and prescience on a person? My bad. Sorry, right? I'm playing with forces of nature that I shouldn't be. Oh, hell yeah. Okay. This advice and guidance thing I thought only applied to one person at a time, but it actually can be on everybody, I guess. So if I were to like do prescience on Jade, fuck me, never mind. That I could have done that. Alrighty, who's the next moving target? Yeah. Come on, big damage. Hell yeah. Okay. Revel in slaughter. Then run and gun. So that I may shoot this guy and he is back. Or maybe I should do it from over here? Still 75% chance. Wow, that's lame. Okay. What about from here? Oh, then fuck it. We'll just do it from here. Oh, fuck. Oh, and I missed anyways! Son of a bitch! Firearm mastery! I will refresh my attack.
As the Emperor commands, I act. Each strike is a
Ha ha
threat.
ha!
I'll do it.
Holy shit! She's incredible! God damn! I'm kind of scared of, like, the enemy potential, because, like, if we're able to do that in, like, a turn, what are the future enemies going to be doing when they were, like, dealing with, like, I don't know, Chaos Marines or some shit? Oh my fucking Christ, that's a lot of armor. Woo!
Rise to the
Strip
top
them all!
and get left in the dust.
These heretics will pay the price. Oh, we've got a thing to read here. Let's see. Pontius Siphius Galaxius, on the training of worthy servants at the court of the Navis Nobilite. A good major domo attempts to nurture only the finest of flowers in the garden that is their master's life. Therefore, new seeds for the garden must be weeded out with the utmost care, so that the garden's trees may yield the sweetest fruit. The lessons below will help you separate the precious seeds from the vile thorns to cultivate the perfect garden for any lady navigator. Lesson 1. A faithful servant always makes sure their mistress's rooms and garments are clean. 2. A faithful servant will never offer their mistress the same dress presented earlier in the cycle. A faithful servant offers their mistress a glass of fresh water upon waking. Lesson 4. A faithful servant tastes each dish and every drink before serving it to their mistress. Lesson 5. A faithful servant will have mastered the art of styling their mistress's hair. The total time that 5 servants can spend on arranging their mistress's coiffure should not exceed 3 revolutions of the chronometer. Lesson 6. A faithful servant lives for their mistress and gladly lives their life for her as well. Lesson 7. A faithful servant... Listen, I'm down for... Where's my android that's like teetering on the border of like sentience and consciousness, and I have to be like concerned about the the robot android revolution? Where's that? All right, I'm down for that. Not the like, not the Matrix revolution.
Keep your wits about you.
Part of it, but like ethical, having something else do things for us. I'm down for that. Do that. What are all these items?
I always get the job done.
Statue by the famous Calaxian sculptor and chronicler Zacharias Vernon. The Magnificent, the 23rd year of this millennium. Original. Wow.
Let us not dawdle.
I'm glad this combat log has also turned out to be just like keep a log of just everything, because this game has a lot of problems where like I click on something to read it.
Continues to mourn Lady Theodora. I fear it may affect the performance of their duties in service of the Lord Captain.
What the fuck? Fucking Abelard says a line and then Adira just gives us text? What the fuck? Let the people grieve. Lady Theodora was with us so long that we started to believe she was immortal.
I always keep my options open.
I actually wonder how old she was.
Fate and fortune.
I think people in the Warhammer universe with like significant power do last like a really long time, like potentially hundreds of years. There's a lot in there. Intercepted conversation between security officers. Tremendous honor. Yes, but his promotion will transfer the entire squad to the child's personal guard. By the God Emperor, well, you are a strapping lad. You'll probably make it for a cycle or 3. It has worn down better men than me. What even is the point if your brains turn into mush? It may rip out my eyes like Amos did. At best, I'll just go bonkers like that little shit stand that kept stealing our... Oh, what happened to that one? Threw himself out of a depressurized chamber because some voices told him to. Calm down. Keeper Felix said the squad will not have to serve the child for long. He even gave us a little leeway. Unlike that fish-eyed... Be quiet. He might hear you. The library is full of treatises by the most distinguished scholars of the Imperium, from Astra Militarum tacticians to Adeptus Mechanics janitors. I don't know if I finished the last thing I was
Always
saying,
keep
but
your
yeah,
eye on the prize.
there's a lot of things to like click on and read on in this game. And before I discovered this, I just had to keep on double or triple clicking to fucking read shit. It was stupid. Lady Navigator's statue looks pristine and new. Wow.
I always have a backup plan.
What do we have over here? Navigator flesh sample. Ooh. Uh-oh, we've got some more enemies, potentially. The eyeballs are looking at me from the walls
A soldier
again.
would have been disciplined for such a performance. Compared to naval service, that was barely a challenge.
I did it! Except now we're fatigued. Each stack grants a -10 penalty to any strength, toughness, or agility test, and -1 movement point. The effect will be removed at the end of combat. If gained outside of combat, visit the void ship. That sucks. Ooh. Alright, hold the phone. I want persuasion. And then, like, in the meanwhile, I guess we can throw it on her. Was there a point to that? Besides just, like, XP? Maybe the goods. There might have been goods directly underneath it, but I think it was just up here.
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust.
What was over here? Because there's this big fucking door.
Keep your wits about you.
The heavy door is secured by a sophisticated mechanical lock. There must be a way to unlock it from somewhere else. Alright. That's the thing we need to unlock, I guess, by getting the control rod up and running again.
I always keep my options open.
Hey, where are you going, buddy? Protect the child! Damn. I wasn't expecting. We just fucking shot him! Thanks for the armor.
Failure is just a temporary setback.
A deep cut extends across the mutant's throat, and a holy Aquila has been carved into their forehead.
Let us not dawdle.
All these things are highlighted like they're going to be important items. Research notes of Navis Laboratorum, Custodian Fortunata Orselio, Part 13. Keeper Theobald graciously agreed to provide samples of his skin growth so we could study the influence of the rebellious immaterium on the flesh of the Navis Nobilite. Just as we thought, navigators are positively resilient to the restless currents of the warp. The God Emperor truly does shield some people against corruption and misery. But let us get back to the study of mortal flesh. Another servant will be carried in shortly. I must ready the organ extraction equipment. Adamantine dust and black water. This was the worst idea that could have entered my mind. God Emperor be praised. I am lucky to still have my head on my shoulders after this reckless experiment. Nevertheless, we did make an important discovery. The adamantine seems to protect the frail flesh of the lowborn to a degree. Having said that, not even the macerator can handle its temper. So we should probably introduce a more complex compound into the formula. All of the data related to the experiment were recorded to data crypt K04OH. I will get back to them later once I'm done with experiment H41. Okay. Have I mentioned that the chunks of meteorite found by Keeper Felix subject is completely useless? Although its shining granules can be used to make new paints for the child. Yes, I think I'm going to do exactly that. Okay, hold up. We have this data crypt thing right here. Both of the ones that he was mentioning. Maybe these are relevant pieces of information. And items.